everyone. Welcome back. I'm super freaking excited to introduce you to someone who I love so much, Amber-Lee Lyons. Thank you so much for coming, girl.
Thank you so much for having me. So excited.
Me too. This is going to be an awesome conversation. I love talking about this kind of stuff, and I freaking love what you do. And I think you're like the perfect example of a game changer who's just going at it totally her own way. I don't know anyone who's doing what you're doing, so you're just like, blazing your own path, and I love that so much. So for people who don't know anything about chakras or really what it has to do with your business at all, is there a way that you can sort of describe that, really simply just for us to understand, like, what does this even have to do with me being, an entrepreneur?
Yeah, everyone has these superpowers inside of them. And we have these 7 chakras that have these amazing energies, and they just get clogged and blocked up. So in my work that I do with my clients, we're not only working on the business, but we're working on kind of unblocking those energies so you can infuse them into your business, which really just takes everything to the next level. And even just knowing where you're blocked, you can really remedy your energy no matter what it is.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. And so I'm sure when you're doing that work, it starts to kind of, bleed into all other areas of your life as well once you're like unblocked.
Exactly. So like every chakra has, I would say, like 3 to 5 core energies in it. And depending on which one that you're kind of deficient in, we would focus on that. So for example, your root chakra would be like standing in your power. It would be being fearless. So we'd work on kind of like eradicating any fears that were coming up. It's about feeling grounded, connected, and it's also about forward momentum. So those are all the things that you need when you're setting up the foundation of your business.
Yeah.
So we kind of tap into those energies first, and then we're like, okay, now let's do that part of the business.
Yeah. Oh, that's so cool. So it's really like a cohesive kind of experience. I love that so much.
Yeah.
And, so is there something that you see as entrepreneurs that comes up all the time as like the main block, or is it really dependent on the person, and, kind of their life?
Yeah, I feel like, yeah. So typically when someone is first starting their business, it's definitely a root chakra thing. There's a lot of fears to overcome. There's a lot of, usually some overwhelm and just kind of a lack of direction. So those are the first kind of things that we tap into, is like forward momentum, standing in your power, and getting rid of those fears. But then when people are really going in their business, I know one thing I really struggle with is an overactive energy in my solar plexus. So I will like work myself to the bone, and I will like not stop until I burn out. Luckily, I haven't burnt out yet because I'm like on top of things. But if that's you and you're the person who will like work tirelessly, you need to like really check into that solar plexus and like calm that energy down. And then on the flip side of that, another thing that can happen in the solar plexus is that you can be so overwhelmed and you can have so many things to do that it totally kills your motivation. So those are kind of 2 extremes in the same chakra. And then another very common one, especially when we're about to launch our business or like launch something new, a throat chakra thing will come up, where we're kind of like afraid to put ourselves out there. And that's so common. Like your throat chakra is about like speaking your truth and your authenticity and, being connected to kind of like honesty and your story and all those things. And that makes you feel very vulnerable.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where a lot of people get stuck. And I've seen so many people that'll like build a new program or start something, and then last minute, like the perfectionism kind of kicks in and you end up not doing anything. And that's so, so common. So if that's you, work on the throat chakra. And then, I think another thing I see a lot is a heart chakra thing, where I know I'm like basically saying all of them, but
no, it's okay. It's so
really
interesting.
It really is like people have their own things, but a heart chakra thing too. So if you're like giving in your business and you're not seeing any return, then, so like the thing about the heart chakra is that there needs to be like even give and take. So if you're giving and not getting anything in return, it actually means you're not giving enough to yourself. You really need to take care of yourself. Or if you realize you're not getting any clients or making any sales, it's like, well, are you giving enough value? Are you like putting enough out there? I always say lead from your heart, not your wallet in business.
Yeah.
So those are some kind of things. If any of that resonates with you, that's where you should start checking in with first.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
And, I think of all of the stuff that I know about chakras, I've noticed that I have kind of one that is like the temperamental one and kind of can, come up from time to time. And then I'll also notice, like, depending on where I'm at in my business, like other things like that, what you said about the throat chakra really resonates with me this year. So do we do a lot of us kind of have like a base, like, our tendency is for one to kind of come in and out of alignment?
Totally. But I also believe you can fully clear one. So I've like fully cleared my throat chakra. Sacral chakra for me is something that comes and goes, but I do believe that you can fully clear something. But then sometimes when you clear one thing, something else pops up because it's kind of like new levels, new doubles, right? So you clear something else, you get to a new level in your life, and then you realize that, oh, maybe there was some other kind of like fear or block or energy stagnancy around this new thing. So it is always changing and always evolving. So it's important to know about all of the energies, all of the ways to kind of tame them and keep everything in flow, just for the awareness and like the conscious action.
Cool. So what do you do to kind of like prep yourself to make sure that like everything is in alignment? Like, is there something that we can do, in the mornings or something like that to kind of give yourself like a little, checkup and see, am I out of alignment anywhere overall, or just in, how I'm feeling today? Did I wake up on the wrong side of the heart chakra or what?
I love that. Yeah. So great question. So first thing I do in the morning is I just do like this kind of check-in. So that could be breathing deep into your root chakra and seeing if it stops anywhere. If you find like you're really shallow breathing, that could be a throat chakra thing. Or if you feel like your air kind of gets stuck here, like it just kind of like shows you, okay, where in my body am I not sending breath? Where in my body is it not accepting energy from me? And once you kind of identify that, you can kind of start working on that chakra right away. So that could be as easy as like visualizing the breath and energy going into that chakra, or visualizing, so each chakra has a color. So visualizing, the color of that chakra expanding through your body. And then journaling is a really big part of it. So I always talk about like a mind, body, soul, and energy daily practice. I know it's so cliche, but so I would say like for your mind, journaling is like so key. So say you were having like money fears in your root chakra, then you would actually just journal about the opposite of your money fears. You would say, I am abundant. I am wealthy. I always say, like, my favorite mantra is, I am very wealthy. And I'll just walk around repeating that in my head. So you just kind of like, it's really just a way of calling in this new energy to that chakra. Just like using the power of your mind and your expression. So that's the mind part. And then the body part, I actually like to stretch the part of that body. So I would, like, if it was your heart chakra, I would do some kind of like chest opener. If it was the sacral chakra, I would do some kind of hip openers, and just kind of like send breath to that area. And you can also eat colors related to that chakra. So if you have a solar plexus issue, drink some lemon water. So I have this all laid out in something that I'll share with you guys. So there's that. So that's mind, body, soul is a meditation. So there's meditations online for every single chakra. You could just Google like root chakra meditation. You'll see so many things come up. And then for energy, I love to visualize. So you're writing out, I have an abundant life, or I am abundant, but then you actually visualize it and you come up with this kind of like ultimate life daydream, and you get really clear and really specific on what it is. And that's just the best way to really call in those vibrations to the chakra, to your own energy, to just really manifest that reality.
That's so cool. I love that. And I think, you know, it's similar to something that I talk about in just, you know, basically taking care of yourself as an entrepreneur, you know, is the same kind of thing, your mind, body, and soul, really making sure that you're nurturing all of those. But I think people love that sort of like just having that laid out plan that, you know, you're kind of covering all of your bases in the morning. And I know for me, that's just the best. I know that I'm just like, check, 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 I'm all, you know, in alignment, and I can go ahead and, you know, move forward with my day. But I love the idea of just, you know, even, you know, before your meditation or something, just taking that deep breath and seeing where it stops, because we are so quick to just like, you know, go on with our day and never really take a moment.
Yeah, sometimes a daily practice ends up just being like something you mindlessly do. Like if you're doing the thing all the time, it ends up kind of just being, you're kind of like on autopilot, right?
Yeah.
So just really being mindful and connected while you're doing it is so key. Oh, and another thing I wanted to bring up is crystals. So that's another part of the energy section of your daily practice. If you have a crystal for your specific chakra, you can like place it on the chakra, or you can just carry it around with you that day. And it's kind of a funny thing, like you're kind of praying to a rock, but but I swear there's something.
I'm into it. It's fine.
Yeah. So like every different crystal has its own frequency. Like it comes from the earth, and, you know, so it has energy. And the way, like we send off, or constantly sending off vibrations. So when you place a different vibration upon your vibration, then it kind of like evens it out a little bit. So that's kind of the concept with crystals.
Wow, that's so freaking cool. I am all about crystals, mostly just because I just think they're pretty.
They're so pretty. Well, and usually the ones that you're really drawn to visually are the ones that you actually need the most. So
bomb.
Yeah. So I always suggest, people are like, what crystal should I get if I'm a beginner? And I'm like, well, it doesn't really matter what stage you're at. Go into a store and see what you like. Like, what are you drawn to? Like, what colors are you drawn to? And that's usually like your body's way of telling you what it is that you need.
Wow. I love that.
Yeah.
Really cool. And a good excuse to crystal shop.
Totally. 100%.
It's calling me. I need to buy it.
Yeah, I'm just a little off. I need to go shopping.
So I thank you so much for sharing all of this. And, you know, the only other thing that I would love to kind of talk about with you is really bringing this into practice, and especially using your, you know, story of moving from one industry into another. And, you know, did that come about for you by really getting in alignment? And, you know, how did your business change when you really took your chakras and you know, took your energy, on as like, you know, your responsibility?
Yeah, 100%. So kind of the goal of chakra alignment is alignment with your purpose and your true calling. So once you're like aligned with that highest self, you kind of are just in flow and just like kind of are navigating and having the opportunities come up naturally. So it just really just kind of happens, and everything falls into place once you get into alignment. So that was exactly what happened with myself. So I was in the fashion industry, was like really miserable, thought that that's what I was like supposed to be doing. I, you know, spent a lot of money going to fashion school. And I think that's a story with a lot of people. A lot of people spend a lot of money on school. And you think that's what you're supposed to be doing. But, yeah, so I just really fell in love. I started going to yoga, started falling in love with that kind of thing, and crystals. And the more I started doing it and tapping into it and tapping into my chakras, everything just started kind of like shifting, and I was being guided in all these different directions. And the same thing happens in my business now. Like I get random opportunities and random things happen. And I'm all about the balance between, like strategy and flow. You know, I believe that you have to put the energy out. You have to have like a goal, a plan, and all those things, but at the same time not be attached to the outcome. Right. Because you never know, it could turn out better than you set out for. You know, you don't want to limit yourself with your goals sometimes.
Just very specific.
Yeah. So like you set the goal, but then you also kind of like release the outcome to it, because you never know what direction you're going to be set in. So just kind of like being open to like receiving. And that's one thing that I'll even like say in meditation, I'm open to receiving, I'm open to receiving, I'm open to flow. Because sometimes if we're like real, like I'm a control freak, like I am, like, don't get me wrong. That's why that's something I really have to work. And I think a lot of women in business are, you know, they've taken control of their lives, and you know, it's just kind of like part of that personality type. They like to like have things in a certain way, but once you can kind of, I think once you can recognize the flow, because you've probably already seen it in your own life, you can start to manifest it more, and you can start to like call it in more.
Really cool.
Yeah.
And, you know, I love that you touched on that, like, you know, spending all that money on school, because I do talk to a lot of people who, you know, just really feel like they're not ready for, you know, what their heart is calling them to do, because, you know, they spent all this money on school, or you know, even obviously we choose our majors and stuff because that's still what we love. Like, not to say that I'm sure you still love fashion. But it's like, really, I love that you put an emphasis on just like go where you know that your intuition is telling you to go, or where your heart is telling you to go. And don't be afraid of that, even though I know like firsthand, like that's scary. Pivoting is terrifying, but you have to be in control of like saying, okay, this is what I want. And I'm going to let it happen.
Yeah, totally. And I always say there's a difference between passion and purpose. I am passionate about cheese and food, but that doesn't mean I'm going to go like be a chef at an Italian restaurant. Like, you know, just because you're passionate about something doesn't mean it's like your calling. I truly believe that everyone's calling is to teach people something that you had to learn the hard way. So we all kind of like are up leveling our own lives in a different order and like at different times. And you know, in some ways I'll be up here and the, you know, person B will be down here, but then in a different situation, they'll be up here and I'll be down here. So everyone has their like lessons to teach and their, you know, their message to share with the world. And it would just be such a beautiful place if that's what everyone was doing.
Really?
You know?
Yeah. Yeah. I really love the way you said that, because it's so true that, you know, we all are coming to those, especially if you're a teacher or a coach in any way. I know a lot of times you want to just like help, you know, you see a problem with someone and you're like, oh, I just want to help you right now. But I think it's so important to remember that we're all at a different place and we're learning those lessons at totally different times. And that person who you feel like, I really wish I could help you right now, you know, maybe they're focusing on, you know, becoming a chef or whatever, like you said. And you can learn from them in that way too. So that's a really cool way of thinking about it. Amazing. Well, thank you so much for coming. That was incredible. And I can't wait to be able to share with everyone who's watching your video course that I'm excited to go download right after this. Can you tell us more about it?
Yeah, so there's 3 videos. It's called Chakra Alignment Mini Course. So I'm really talking about, the first video, I'm really talking about why alignment is so important. So I'm diving a lot deeper into that whole concept and giving like an intro of all the chakras and what energies related to them. And then in the second video, I'm telling you exactly how to do the daily practice. So I talked about it a little bit right now, but you're actually getting workbooks with each video as well. So you're going to be able to map out your own custom daily practice based on what you need. And then in the third video, I'm talking about how to really implement those energies into your business. So we're talking about what chakra, if you see like a part of your business that is like not doing great, then you're going to know, okay, what chakra do I really need to work on to get this business moving? And yeah, so there's a workbook with every video and there's just a lot of content. And then you also have access to a bonus, which is a webinar. It's one of my most popular webinars, which dives really deep into the root chakra. So if you're someone who's feeling like a little bit stuck or fears are popping up, this will be really great for you.
Oh, so cool. It's like a serious roadmap.
Yeah, it really is.
I love. I'm totally downloading that. I'm going to put the crystal on my, on whatever chakra's out of alignment.
Put all the crystals all over the body.
I love it so much. Thank you so much for coming. I will put the link below for the mini course. And thank you for being a game changer and leading the way for us.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for having me. Bye, guys.
See ya.